So back in the 17th century, Descartes decided to doubt literally everything he could. His goal? To rebuild all of human knowledge on a foundation of pure, unshakable certainty. And to do that, he didn't look out at the world for evidence. Nope, he turned inward to the power of his own mind.
He's starting from his armchair, with nothing but an idea that he finds already present in his mind, the idea of God.
Now, for Descartes' argument to even get off the ground, this definition is absolutely everything. He doesn't just mean some super powerful being. He means a supremely perfect being. Think about that for a second. That means a being that has every possible perfection you can think of, being all-knowing, all-powerful, you name it.
Okay, let's just walk through the logic here, step by step. First, Descartes says, okay, I have this idea in my head of a supremely perfect being. Easy enough. Step 2, by its very definition, this being can't be missing any perfections. Makes sense. Now, here comes the big move, the linchpin of the whole thing. Step 3, Descartes claims that existence itself is a perfection. I mean, isn't it better to actually exist than to not exist? So if this supremely perfect being didn't exist, it would be lacking a perfection, which would make it imperfect. And that's a flat-out logical contradiction. So the only possible conclusion, he says, is that this being must exist.
So just think about a triangle. The very idea, the essence of a triangle, necessarily includes having 3 sides. You literally can't even imagine a triangle that doesn't have 3 sides. It's part of the package. Well, Descartes argues it's the exact same thing with God. The very idea of a supremely perfect being necessarily includes existence. To even try to imagine a perfect being that doesn't exist, he says, is just as nonsensical and contradictory as trying to imagine a triangle without 3 sides.
Flash forward about a century later, and the brilliant Scottish philosopher David Hume comes along with a huge challenge. See, Hume was an empiricist, which means he believed that all real knowledge about the world has to come from our experiences, not from pure reason.
This is Hume's fork. It basically splits all the statements we can make into 2 categories, 2 prongs of the fork. On one side, you have relations of ideas. These are truths of definition, like 2 + 2 = 4, or all triangles have 3 sides. They're certain, for sure, but they don't actually tell us anything new about the world. On the other side of the fork, you have matters of fact. These are claims about reality, like, it's raining outside. They tell us about the world, but we need evidence to know if they're true, and you can always imagine the opposite being true without it being a contradiction.
So here it is, the critical question Hume puts on the table. Where does the statement, God exists, fit in this picture? Is it a relation of ideas, something that's true by definition, like a triangle having 3 sides? Or is it a matter of fact, a claim about reality that actually needs evidence?
For Hume, the point is actually really simple. He says, look, anytime you make a claim about what actually exists in the universe, that statement is always a matter of fact. And matters of fact can only be proven through real-world experience and evidence, not just logic. You just can't prove something exists simply by defining it in a clever way, no matter how perfect that definition sounds.
He says, think of anything you want. A dragon, a perfect island, even God. You can clearly imagine it existing. And you can just as clearly imagine it not existing. There is no logical contradiction in the thought God does not exist. It's not like saying a triangle has 4 sides. And because of that, Hume concludes God's existence can never be a necessary truth of pure logic.